Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about Brian Moreland, Savage Island. I don't have a copy of the book to hold up as I did read it as an ebook quite some time ago, but since it's middle of July and a lot of people are gearing up for their summer vacations, I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about a summer vacation gone terribly wrong. Basically, the book is about two female friends who go to the Philippines for some much needed rest and relaxation and to kind of heal their friendship after I believe one spouse died and the other just got out of a pretty nasty relationship herself, and they bump into two slightly nefarious guys, or at least a bit nefarious as it turns out, who want to take them on a boat adventure to an uncharted island. Yeah, if you're a fan of true crime, you know that two people in the middle of nowhere shouldn't get on a boat with two strangers they just met. I mean, you're either going to have an amazing adventure or you're going to have your own true crime documentary on Netflix in 20 years. Like, that's the only way these things ever play out. Theirs is definitely the latter. But luckily, they don't get brutally murdered by these two rich guys that take them on a boat. Instead, they find themselves on an island that is evil all by itself. And this is where things get interesting. I didn't know what to expect when I was reading the back of the book, especially since, you know, it's about an evil island. I was kind of thinking it would be like maybe Castaways, where you know, it's going to be like some Sasquatch type of creatures, maybe like, you know, something like or Forgotten Island by David Sodergren, that has, you know, another type of cryptid supernatural evil there. But no, this is like the island itself is the enemy, and I thought that was really interesting and really cool. It kind of reminded me of the Ruins because it was very plant-based. Like, all the greenery itself was the issue. And I'm not going to expose the secret to why that is. You will have to read the book for yourself. But I thought that was kind of fun in general because the cover of the book shows a like bloody machete. So I was very much thinking I was about to read a slasher book, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I thought it was kind of fun that that was not the case and it went a different way. It definitely kept me reading about, you know, because these people are trying to survive the island while the island is not only really trying to kill them, but trying to like consume them, because the greenery of the island very much acts like almost like fungi in a way, and just kind of like grows into people. And they explain why that is in the book. Obviously, there's a big mystery, and there's a bunch more to it than what I'm saying. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I also very much liked it wasn't very much like the final girl trope, but it was just different. It was very it made me kind of think of The Last of Us a little bit. The way they're trying to like survive while like all this plant stuff's like slowly overtaking everything. And also, you know, before reading this book, I didn't really think of islands as super scary, because when I think of islands, you know, it's not like the desert where you're just gonna like eventually run out of water and die. Most of the time you think of islands, you're like, well, you could maybe somehow get out on the ocean. But yeah, not the case in this book. I think the Brian Moreland did a really good job of making it believably scary in that type of situation. Because even though they had a boat and all this stuff, they couldn't really just leave when shit hits the fan. And I really enjoyed that. I think that added another level of tension on top of the supernatural aspect. I also really, I cared about the characters, which I think doesn't always happen in horror novels, right? In horror novels, like, a lot of times you just get a cast of characters, much like horror movies. You get attached to the people that you're pretty sure are going to survive, and then everyone else, you're just going to like, meh. Yeah, there was flashback scenes for a lot of the characters, and usually I find flashback scenes annoying. I've talked about that before. But I liked the way Brian Moreland did it throughout the book. They were very short. And they weren't right on top of each other. So kind of the way, at least maybe I felt it, it was very much like the serial style, kind of like pulpiness, which I do like and appreciate it, because like something super bad would happen and then be like a flashback of why I should care about this character, and then, you know, back to current time. And I appreciated that a lot. It definitely kept me reading. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a fun island horror book that I don't think followed a bunch of tropes, like I can't really think of a whole mess of tropes that are in this book. So like if you're very like a trope heavy reader, I think you might be disappointed. But at the same time, I'm someone that enjoys tropes, but also like reading books that don't follow tropes. So yeah, if you want to read something slightly different, and maybe you're like about to go on vacation, or maybe you're going to an island and you just want a reason to be afraid of things that aren't just in the water, then I think you should definitely give this book a try. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I honestly can't say enough about it. I mean, it was a pretty short read. I tore through it in a couple hours. You know, good poolside read. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I'm definitely going to read more by Brian Moreland. I really like this book, and I think I actually own another book that he's written to through Flame Tree Press about an Egyptian mummy. So I'm also excited to read about that, because I do love like the classic monsters, like the Universal monsters. So I think that'll be fun too, and I will definitely talk about that on this channel once I get down through my TBR and finally get to it. Right now I am mainly focused on reading quote-unquote summer horror, and I'm still reading a lot of Sword and Sorcery as well. Next week I will be diving into hopefully some shark and aquatic horror books, as it will be Shark Week here in the US, and I'm guessing everywhere. I don't know if does Discovery Channel do that everywhere? I think they do. I don't know. But I'm going to assume they do, and I will be probably talking about some classics as well as some new or newer books through Severed Press and stuff like that. So I won't just be reminiscing about Peter Benchley's Jaws and all that mess. But yes, that was a tangent I didn't mean to go on. Get this book if you want to read about an island that eats people and turns them into part of the island, and probably in one of the scariest ways possible. Yeah, it really made me think of, have you ever seen that Rick and Morty episode where she kind of like takes over that one person that Rick is with, takes over this like entire planet, and Morty and Summer try to wake everybody up? That's kind of what this feels like, except on a very much different, much scarier level. Get this book, read this book, enjoy this book. I will say, I'm going to put a link below, but I think the link is just for the paperback. I don't think the ebook's available anymore, as I think the publisher, the ebook, at least I got the ebook through, I think is now defunct. So just kind of keep in mind with that. I think that you can still order new paperbacks, but as soon as I'll put the link there anyway. I'm sure like once Brian Moreland finds another publisher for Savage Island, it'll be paired on the ebook. That's usually how Amazon works. But either way, if I have to add another link, I will. But yes, read this book. And if you have read it or and enjoyed it, or you've read other island horror books you think I should read other than like The Ruins and stuff like that, then please, let me know in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.